Good morning, good evening, good night, en el plano emocional. So today we are going to work with the Plexus chakra in the emotional level. I remind you that we are in the month of Virgo, so we are in the process of analyze. So for those who had read today the blog, I'm still processing. So if you read the blog, all the expressions that I said while writing were the actual surprises that I got while writing. So that's why I wrote down like, what? Wait, I don't get it. So it was actual reactions because I was just writing what the I am was saying and not thinking about what I was writing. So this is why after I wrote everything myself, I felt really bad. I know it was a lot of information, so I will try to make a kind of summary of it. So the first question that I did was about how, if we were talking about emotions and feelings, how do I relate my feelings with others, with other people? So one of the main things that he said was that feelings are not just something that is being processed by humans, but is a natural tool of evolution. What he was explaining was like the feelings are just a process of evolution. So when a species starts to seek for tools to feel secure, so when a group of animals are trying to survive in group because they are afraid of what is going to happen in the outside, so what they created, some of these animals, is the feeling, the bounds in between all of them to create the sensation of security, to be like all protected one another. So feelings and emotions are one of the tools that the mammals had developed in order to trust each other and to feel secure. So basically what the feelings had created was a link in between each one of the individuals, creating like a network of people, so of beings. So this network is kind of a reaction. So when something happens to one of them, the others can react by feeling, by comprehension to the other to help that person. So these links in between the people were creating what we call in mammals the herds. So these herds, when they create the culture, they start to be called like families. So this is one of the things that the I am was explaining. So basically the reason why a herd is created, a group is created with all these links, is because they want to survive. So basically they want to eat. So as many you have in the group, you can survive the better, because you have many people protecting, you have many people working, hunting, collecting. So by creating all these links in between the individuals, they create a very good structure of survival. So all of it basically started by a need of eating. So this is why the family in the past, in the ancient times, was the concept of the group where everyone can eat. So we are going to the roots of the words of the languages that we are speaking. We are not speaking Chinese or Hindi, so we are going to the origin of the Anglo-Saxon words and the Latin words. This is why we use in our languages the concept of family to describe these groups. Family comes from the Latin word famus, that means hunger. So the concept of family is the concept of a group of people that get together because they are hungry. And this is why in Roman times, family was the name with which the people described the group of slaves. All these slaves, the family that they call slaves, were all under the control of a lord that was like the master, and that's what we used to call pater familias, which means the lord of the slaves. So basically, the family is a group of people that is together because they were hungry and they are together to survive, but they created these links, these emotional links, so they could transcend through time and space by surviving, sharing each other. So this is why we usually create this idea that we have to defend the family because we are the family, but also we have this feeling that we feel trapped in our families. So this is not only something that comes from blood. It's about who I choose as family. So family is not about only blood. It's about what is the group that we feel links with. So this is why as bigger are the links that we have, the bigger the family. So one of the explanations that the I Am wanted to say is that usually in order to survive, the herd must to have many individuals. So this is why naturally we are looking to be part of groups, because something inside of us says, if I am not being part of this, maybe I will die. So this thing of creating bigger and bigger groups is just a feeling of creating security. So the example that he used was, you catch more fish with a bigger net. So what he was trying to say is that in order to create a bigger group with a lot of individuals, you have to create the net, which is the links in between all these people. So a net is not something that is above us and that covers us, but is something that we create with our own links by weaving each one of the links. So now we go to the plexus. So basically what he said is that the links that we create with other people is due to our lack of stuff, or because we feel insecure, whatever. So the belief is that if I don't have all these links, I will die. And this is the thing that made us to repeat the same mistakes of our families once and again. So this is why we feel that we are like slaves of a group, because we repeat the same patterns once and again. So basically, these are like the mandates that we receive from our family, from a lot of people in the past, that comes over us. So what he said was that if you go back to the past to try to heal each one of those links that you have with everyone, so you are losing a lot of time and a lot of energy. So what he said was, if you discover that you are yourself the result of all of them, that all of them lives in you, so you can discover by yourself your own way to activate your neutrons, so you don't need all this weight of all these other beings. So basically what he said was, focus on yourself, because you are losing time trying to heal the whole network, talking about family. So the question was, how? So this was the moment when he started to explain about the miracle of Jesus Christ, of the multiplication of the breads and fishes. So the miracle was that he accomplished to make each one of the people nourish themselves, by themselves, without expecting anything from others. The explanation is well detailed there in the text. So basically what he explained is that the fish that we have within is the pancreas, and the pancreas the organ that creates the hormone that helps us to find the nutrients to nourish the body, which is the insulin seeking for the sugar around the body to process it in the cells. So basically what he did was to try to teach everyone how to feed themselves with their own fish inside. But I remind you that is well written in the blog. So this was like the metaphysical aspect downloaded into the physical aspect. So basically, as the pancreas in our body looks for the sugar to nourish the cells, so the plexus in the pancreas does exactly the same towards the outside, searching for this sugar in other people through the links of the people, the sugar that we call love. So basically what our own body in the pancreas is doing inside our organism, and the plexus trying to connect with other people, is basically the same, which is to nourish the self, the being. So what he was trying to explain is that the links that we create in between all the beings around, all the other people, is creating a structure that holds a system of security. So basically it's the same that the molecules does when they create a structure by unifying one to another, creating molecules and structures. We do exactly the same, but through feelings. So basically what he said is that to connect all the parts, in Latin you would say religare. That is the origin of the word religion. So basically religion means to create a structure of many links in between many people. So the reason why all these people were together is because they were resounding and looking for the same truth or philosophy. So the concept of a lot of people following a truth the same philosophy, so they are all together. In Latin, we say seguire, which is to follow. And that's the origin of the word secta, that means those or that concept of following in Latin. So we could say that a carbon structure that creates our body is a structure that we can call religion. So basically, the neurological system, the neurons, are catching information from the carbon structures and bringing that data following a structure to the brain. So if they follow something, an idea, a feeling, a pulse, so we could say that the neurological system is like a sect. All this happens in every aspect. So basically, this happened everywhere. So, for example, a family, we used to call it a clan. So this clan that we call a family is a group of people that follows the same philosophy and patterns constantly. So we could say that that's a sect. So basically, a group of families or clans that are following certain cultural rules, we also can say that is a religion. So we could also say that the science has become a sect based in facts. Or we could say that a group of scientists around the world or Republicans, they are also a religion because they are following a structure. How we create this, how everything is created like that, due to these links that are made of feelings. So this is why we can consider that every group we are part of, cultural, religion, philosophical, scientific, whatever, family, they are all considered religious groups. So the question was, we have to get rid of these links? We have to just leave this away? And he said, no, you shouldn't. What you have to do is to understand why you need them. Basically, the reason why we need the links is the same for which all the nature around needs links in order to exist. From the very tiny aspects of reality, like the atomic and molecular aspects, and also the galaxies, the bigger ones, they're all linked each other. So it's not about how to let those links away, how to give them away. It's about which place is mine in this place, in this net. Because we have two ways, as usual. We usually do two things, two different ways. So basically, the first way we usually have is to accept the network I am part of. Like, this is like this, I cannot change it. It's always been like that, and it will always be like this. And the other thing that we usually do is to deny the network and to say, I am not this, I am not part of this, this is bad, I go away from this. Those are the two ways, at least the most normals that we usually take. And what the I am was trying to show me today is that I myself was denying that thing. I was taking the second path, like, I don't want this. So exactly because I was denying it, I just repeated the same system. And this is what we usually do when we deny something in our lives. So basically, when we deny something and we give the back to it and we just try to go away from it, what we are just doing is polarize it. And by polarity, I create a mirror. So what I'm watching and doing is exactly the same, but backwards. So an easy example in our lives is, I hate my parents, I don't want them, I hate what they did with me when I was a child, so I just go away from them and I just want to forget everything about them. And sadly, I get a partner and I have a child and I do exactly the same what my parents did. But maybe it's a mirror. So for example, I have maybe in a mirror situation, my parents were very Christian and they made me study the Bible and they said that's the only truth, and if I did something wrong, they would punish me. So imagine that what I do here is exactly the opposite. Like, for example, I become scientist because I don't want religion. So what I do to my child, you will study a lot. I don't want to hear anything about imagination or anything about religion, anything. You will study, and until you hadn't read all the encyclopedia, you will not go out to play. It's the same, but in a mirror. So basically, what I did was try to do exactly the opposite, what I hated, and trying harder to eliminate the concept of the religion and the group, I end up creating a network. So basically, the big mistake that I did was to escape from what I have within. In order to heal this, what I have to do is stop running from that and turn and watch it and say, yes, all the things that they were projecting on me, yes, it's like that. But I will give another meaning. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce the word. I will give another meaning to this. So basically, what I am willing to do to heal this is not to become a master, is to become a pedagogue. So what I am trying to do is not to give you the truth, is to give you tools to understand how you could find your own truth. Basically, the reason why you are here is because you have left some other links and now you are trying to find a new place in a new network with new links, emotional links. What is the goal of allowing you to be part of a network? It's not for you to be part of something and to be part of this something just denying that you are part of a network. But you have to accept that you are part of a network, but what we have to build is a flexible network where everything can move. So the key is to understand that the nature has given us the structure of a network, but what we have to try to do is to create a flexible network and not something tight. And the fundamental truth is the next. Let's take this as an example. So the way we have to understand with this example is, you are watching the water, you see the water. The question would be, does exist the water? Does the water exist? So the question is that the water doesn't exist. It's just a perception of a group. But the water doesn't exist. So water is a big chain of atoms of oxygen and hydrogen, H2O. So it's easy to see. An oxygen and two hydrogens. So what happens if I, an oxygen with two hydrogens, I take the hand of someone that is exactly like me in the side, and the other one, and we start to grab hands, and we create a network. How do we call this network? We call that water. So what is the water? Water is the network. It's a network of an oxygen that has two hydrogens. He only takes hands of another H2O. And everything that exists is the same. So everything is chains and networks. Everything is a religion. So what do we have to understand? That the religion is the links of water, but the truth is an oxygen with two hydrogens. So everything, every religion, culture, family, group is created by myself in the heart, and oxygen with two hands, hydrogens. So let's go and eliminate the preconcepts that we have from a religion and a sect. The preconcept that we have of religion and sects is that they control the mind of people. So it's not that religion and sects, the cults, how do you say, mind-washed people or control people, the mind of the people. The truth is that people forgot their inner power. That's the only difference. The chains exist anyway, because as a human, I will always be part of a group. It's inevitable. Will always be like this, because I'm part of a family, I'm part of a group, whatever. But what I can do is to transform myself. I can do it as the water can become steam. That myself, I can recognize the power that I have inside that chain. So this is why it's so important to understand the concept of the I am before the concept of the we are. Because we are not going to be able to create a new world, a transformation of our reality, believing that the power is in the group. It's impossible to do that. And this is not denying the power of the group, but recognizing the power of the group before I recognize the power that I have in myself. It could take the power forever from myself. What the I Am told me today was, don't deny what you don't want to be, because it's inevitable for you to be. The only way I can transcend the idea of religion, sect, the network, is by recognizing that I am all that before. So this is why it's so important for all of us to work ourselves within and not to think in what we are going to do as a group. And this is why most of us are here today, because we have been escaping from one religion and we ended up in another one. And the only way we can go outside this eternal system is if everything that I learn, I apply it to my own self. Not to do this, to create it as a method, but to use it as a tool to connect with my own higher self. And this is why I will always share my path as an example, but I will never tell you how to do yours. And this is why when many of you are questioning me, how can I do this? I will always say, look for it. What I will always say to you, each one has its own time. And everything that I am explaining right now is not just an explanation. It's being part of the alignment. And one of the things that I will tell to all of you that are following every day is that don't keep with everything that I say as if it is the 100% of the truth. For in order to a network to be flexible, we need to understand that each one has its own truth. So this is why you have always to hear and learn from people that explain the same things in different ways. Because this is the only way in which we could flexibilize these links that we create by need. The links of feelings. So I would like to remind you that always in our lives, we will believe that the place where we are in this very moment is the best and the good one. This is just one aspect of the human nature. To believe that what I am looking from the world is right. And this is what it creates a doctrine and a dogma. And this doesn't mean that there are good things and bad things. So as always, I would like to remind you that there are no truth and lie, that there are things that resound and things that not. Simple as that. I remind you that in order to do what we are doing, you have to be very flexible. And now you are here, but I hope that someday in the future you would be somewhere else. So let's go to the alignment. Today I spoke more than usual, but I thought it was necessary. The vibration of today is fear. The statement for today is, I am the spark of the being. So the pattern for today is totally aligned with what we have been speaking now, and I had no idea. Spiritual pattern, God. The divine nourishment and life both originate from the same source, water. Water is the physical product of Maha's 9 tears, the great eye that sees everything, whom with his contemplation nourishes with information and wisdom to every molecule of water of the cosmos. The Ga sound unifies all to the eyes of the world with the great being, the water, mirror of creation, mirror of heaven, origin of existence. Take a deep breath. Stretch the body softly. So I relax my body as I focus in my breathing. I pay attention how the oxygen goes to my lungs, heart, blood, organs and muscles. So I feel the heat within my body and how it goes through my skin towards every direction, filling up a sea of vibration and energy. I observe the light of the sun over my head, above the sea. Breathe in deep. Start to go up. Going outside slowly from the sea as an island emerging in the middle of the ocean. As I go up, I feel my body going outside the water, feeling the limits of the water going down from my crown, my eyes, ears, nose, mouth, chin, neck, shoulders, chest, back, and it goes lower and lower, arriving below letting the stomach, the belly, my arms until the elbows, all outside the water, and the rest below. I feel the horizon and how the heat of the sun starts to dry my skin. I feel the light of the I Am penetrating through my skin, facing to, hidden to the plexus. Take a deep breath and feel from your plexus the links between all the emotions and feelings in this big ocean. As roots of light expanding through the water, I become aware that these links connect me with every person, every object, circumstance, group that I know in my life and those that I don't know. I recognize that from them I receive all the nutrients to be who I am. Through the light of the I Am, I become aware that I am not in need of those links, but that I am an important part inside this network. I recognize that I am not linked to them by need, but I am linked with them by love. So as I take a deep breath and begin to pronounce the sound, I expand the vibration and consciousness, the light of the I Am, towards all those links that are around me. As I keep pronouncing the sound, I bring clarity and lighting the light of the I Am in my plexus, bringing consciousness to all my links. I become aware that I don't need any of those links to be who I am, because I am the spark of the being. I am the spark of the being. I am the spark of the being. Take a deep breath. I take my hands to my heart. I recognize that all the networks that I had created until now, today, has been by the need of a group to survive. So I become aware now that from the spark of my being, I set my intention that from now on, all the networks that I aim to create will be held from the consciousness of the I am. I am the spark of the self. I am the spark of the being. I am the spark of the being. I am who I am. Take a deep breath. And I start to bring this consciousness to all my body. Yawning, caressing, stretching. And each one at its own time. Come back here now, opening your eyes. So the work for today, the homework, would be to write down which links of emotion and feelings are the biggest links that I have in my life today. Thank you for being there and being part of this path, at least during this part of it. So see you tomorrow, as always, the same time. Rest.